Hello everyone, welcome back to Book Club Preview. Today we're looking at the Mark of Athena, Chapter 6, continuing Leo's perspective. It starts off with Leo just thinking. First, he's on the back of Aaron with Hazel. He's got one arm around her waist, he can smell her hair, she's so beautiful, and they're like zipping past the water, and Leo's heart is just beating so hard. But he keeps saying to "Oh, Leo, this is Frank's girlfriend. Relax, calm down." Oh, and before they left, Piercy took him over and was like, "Hey man, come here, let me talk to you. Hey, look, just so you know." And he tells Hazel's story to Leo. But at his same time, his undertones sound like, "Look, this girl's got some problems. And if you hurt my friend, I'm gonna take you down." So Leo's a little bit scared of Piercy. Or actually, Leo says he thinks Piercy will feed him to a great white shark, which is pretty funny. So Leo's just thinking about all this stuff, and they're running off to the island to get some supplies. When they get to the island, Aaron runs off. Hazel mentions that she can feed him gold, and they start looking at the different sand. They start going through the sand and piling it in this bag. And they're kind of laughing because the sun is kind of setting. It's beautiful outside. And they're like, "Oh, we should have brought a little bucket and a shovel. We could have made sand castles. Yeah, we could have made limestone castles." And they're kind of laughing, and they look at each other, and they're just staring at each other. And then Hazel's kind of, I think she says, "Are you sure you're not?" And Leo says, "Sammy?" And she looks at him. He's like, "Yeah, Frank asked me if I was Sammy." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not Sammy." But Leo can kind of guess that Sammy must be an old dead guy. And he kind of shares how Frank kind of shared a little bit of her story. And so they kind of finish collecting all that stuff. While Leo is collecting it, though, he does kind of have this memory of Gaia peering out of the sand. It didn't happen for real, and just speaking to him, saying how he'll fail. But he's like, "Come on, Gaia's not here. Relax. Focus on the mission." They start to go towards the celestial bronze, which Hazel's like, "Wah, wah, 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 wah. The celestial bronze is over there." And Leo says, "Whoa, how'd you know that?" It's like, "Oh, it's a child of Pluto thing." And it's like, okay. So they head towards the celestial bronze. And when they get there, or when they start walking that way, they see this biker lady. And this is a really weird looking lady. She's on this motorcycle. Looks like a pie with a piece eaten out of it. She has like this red jacket. And then as they get closer, they can see the jacket has like skeleton birds on it. The biker lady has a whip on her hip. And it's like, she's starting to look a little creepy. They get closer to her, and Leo's like, "Oh! It's his aunt, Rosa, that he hates so much." And then Hazel looks, "Oh! My third grade teacher, who I hate so much." And they're kind of like, "Who are you? Why do you look like different people?" And Leo thinks back to Camp Half-Blood, and he realizes, "Oh, you're Nemesis. So you appear as the person that you hate the most. And Nemesis is like your number one enemy." And she starts to share some information with Leo and Hazel, and she's like cracking open these fortune cookies. And then she's reading a fortune. "You will have a great day today." And she erases it. "Today you will die." "Today something bad will happen." And she closes it and she puts it back. And so I don't know if you've ever had a fortune cookie before. They're delicious, but they usually say something nice. But occasionally, one will say something not so good. And that is the fortune cookie from Nemesis. Well, as she's doing all of this work, she starts to tell Leo and Hazel some information. And she kind of says, um, you're going to have a tough time ahead. You're going to have some real problems. She also says all of the other gods, they probably can't help you right now because they're going crazy right now. And Hera got chased out of Olympus. So Hera's hiding right now. So she probably can't help you either. So I'm the only one that can help you because I'm Nemesis in the Greek world and I'm Nemesis in the Roman world. I don't change. I am just who I am. So I can help you if you guys want help, but it will require sacrifice. Oh. And Hazel and Leo think about all the sacrifice they've had. But they're like, okay, what sacrifice? And Nemesis says, well, one of my children gave an eye so that way he can be important in the world. And Leo's like, you want one of my eyes? It's like, no, but we can work something out. Well, they don't really want her help because it doesn't sound like it's much help. So they kind of say no, but Nemesis gets a fortune cookie. She changes something on it, gives it to Leo, and says, here, take this. If you need me or if you change your mind, open this fortune cookie. Leo says, no thank you, that sounds terrible. But he puts it in his tool belt. And she says, you will need my help, but it'll be up to you. In 6 days, Nico's going to die, Rome is going to be destroyed, and some really bad things are going to happen. So if you don't want that to happen, you're going to need my help. But it will require sacrifice. And she says, Leo, you'll always be an outcast. Leo, you'll never be like in the good friends group. And she says some really bad things, and Leo's like, oh man, that's terrible. But she also says but that she can help him, but they don't want her help. Before she leaves, she says, oh, you better go to that accursed child who she calls Sweetheart. Maybe it's her child, I'm not 100% sure. But they'll have to like look in some reflection of the mirror of some lake or something and to be tested. Who knows what's going to happen? We'll find out in the next chapter. Vocabulary though. We had this before, but I just want to remind you, mijo. In Spanish, a J sound is like an H. So it's pronounced mijo, and that's like son. And Leo's mom would call him mijo, but not Rosa. Made him boil. His anger, blah, 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 blah. His temperature is so hot, if you put water on it, it'll boil. So he starts to feel this kind of anger. And for Leo, he actually starts to get some fire. And Hazel's like, oh! And he puts his hand in his pockets and the fire goes out. Tramp. This is kind of a bad word. Not so much nowadays, but before, tramp was a really bad word. A tramp is kind of a girl, it could be a guy too, that doesn't keep his responsibilities. So maybe they go dancing all night, or they drink some food, or maybe they have more than one boyfriend or girlfriend. You can call this person a tramp. But don't use that word. Nowadays is not that bad. It's a very old word. We don't use it very often, but it can be a bad word. And Nemesis calls Fortuna a tramp because she's always going around helping people, giving luck to everyone, and she's not committed to like one thing. I think the last one here is schizophrenic. Now that I said the word, you probably know it. Schizophrenic. That means having some really bad mental problem where probably your mind splits into different personalities. And so Zeus is kind of Zeus over here with Camp Half-Blood, but he's kind of over here and he's Jupiter, and he has headaches and he's kind of conflicted which team to go with because there's going to be a civil war between the Greeks and the Romans. So, all the gods are going through this problem, except for a few, like Nemesis. Discussion question. Would you accept Nemesis? Would you accept help from Nemesis? There you go. Much easier to say it that way. Would you accept her help? Man, that's some sacrifice. You don't know, but if you say yes, she'll help you, but there'll be some kind of sacrifice. Or would you try to find your own way? Of course, please make your own discussion question. That is all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.